generation. No more standing out in line. So good at wasting our time. We are the lazy generation. We are the lazy generation. We are the lazy generation now.
Hello and welcome to the European Grand Prix here at the beautiful circuit, so-called the Nürburgring. It started on the Nordschleife and we ended up on the GP circuit with 13 corners. And I really love the circuit because it's high downforce, it's a very technical circuit, and yeah. Anyways, talking about driver news. Toyota have decided to keep Page Knight for the 2009 season, having won the last time out at the Hungaroring. Yeah, Page Knight, very good driver, and yeah, so I don't know who's going to be a teammate because there is Sin Cara who impressed as a substitute for Page Knight when she was out injured, and Evan Byrne, yeah. He's been performing good, but unfortunately, Toyota have a very tough decision to make. Fourth place isn't really impressive for Toyota, so hopefully they'll get it sorted out. Anyways, Williams have decided to confirm Adam Wolf for next season as well. So yeah, Adam Wolf, very good driver. He can put poor machinery into the points like he did for Super Aguri. Yeah. So yeah, good choice by Williams. And like Toyota, they're yet to confirm the teammate. And BMW will confirm the lineup at Spa in Belgium next time out. Renault could lose both of the drivers. Poor season for Renault, poor reliability, and yeah, Kuba, no Martin can take it no more. So Martin yet to score a point, while Kuba has scored like about 20 points. I don't know, but yeah, Kuba is currently in talks with Williams, BMW Sauber, and Ferrari, but it's likely that he's going to go to Ferrari next season. And Red Bull, they could promote one of the Toro Rosso drivers, but it's likely going to be Florian Volker. And yeah, they have James Willows, who is surely going to stay at Red Bull. Sam Thompson, who is currently underperforming really. Good at qualifying, race pace. He still needs to work on that. And yeah, so yeah, that's it for the driver news. So Joseph Willows will line up on pole for the fourth time this season. Will Nella, fellow countryman and title rival, will complete the front row. George Roque will start third. Felix Sonntag in fourth. Bruno Giaconera fifth. Page Knight sixth. Jamie Kennedy seventh. James Willows in eighth. Not to mention, good quality streak for Page Knight. Don't forget that. Ninth place is Kuba. Unexpected result after poor practice session for both the Renaults. 10th is Florian Volker. His teammate Miklo Skulls in 11th. Evan Byrne is in 12th place. Roland Montian in unlucky 13th place. Jack Moyman in 14th. And then we have Dominic DeLazo 15th. Vigo Host. Unexpected result for Force India. Car has no downforce. Wet. And Nürburgring is a very high downforce track. So 16th on the grid is a good qualifying result for him. And yeah, not to mention he's managed to out-qualify the Williams of Finley Strachan. Then we have Alex Southgate in Alex Southgate's in 18th. Alex Southgate 19th. Sam Thompson, shocking 20th place. He has a lot of work to do in the race. And then completing the grid are the two Super Aguris as usual, Adam Wolf and Dmitry Sukov. So it will rain for the race, and like it did in qualifying, and the rain will last about 30 minutes or half an hour. no, half an hour or an hour, I don't know, and it will dry up, but there will be no sun whatsoever. So here we are on the grid, all 22 cars here on the grid to confirm the start of the race. 5 red lights. And it's lights on, away we go for the European Grand Prix. Good start from Will Nella. Good start from George Rogue. As for Joseph Williams, Wais Kuba had a horrible start. And he's down to 12th place now, losing 3 places. And looking at the 3 abreast, down to turn 1. Who is going to lead at the first corner? I believe Will Nella's got squeezed out a little bit. And I believe it's George Rogue. Meanwhile, we have contact with Paige Knight and James Williams are 2 superstars last week, and we still have a little bit of contact behind as well with Alex Southgate, I believe. Yeah, Southgate's lost his front and rear wing. So yeah, and Thompson's gone past him. But anyway, George Rogue leads the European Grand Prix on lap 1. Miklo Scout going down the inside of Page Knight has Page Knight limps back to the pits minus a rear wing. Meanwhile, James Williams is down outside the top 10 really, and he's dropping down to 15th on the timing board. And looking at now, Paige Knight's becoming a sin duck. She's now losing places, and oh dear me, this is not what she really hoped for. No for James Williams as well. Looking at Joseph Williams attacking George Rogue for the lead of the race. Will Nella behind as well. So looking at Mochan having a scrap with Jay McKenzie over 8th place. Has the cars go break after the Schumacher S. Now here comes Joseph Williams down the inside of the chicane, and he takes the lead of the European Grand Prix. Now Will Nella pressurising George Rogue, and Felix Sonntag not that far behind as well. So yeah, this is turning out to be a very good first lap. Has Alex Southgate limping back to the pitch. He's down in last, and we got contact ahead, and it looks like the damage is terminal for Jay McKenzie. Who was the other car involved? It was Roland Montjan in the Renault. So what happened here? So Montjan was on the outside, then he switches to the inside. Jay McKenzie covers the inside line, not realising that there was a gap. Montjan loses control, and there was nothing that he could do to prevent the contact. McKenzie out on the spot. Roland Montjan trying to go back to the pit. He goes over the curb, and then he gets collected by Alzo Safri, and Montjan had to retire from the race as well. So that's 2 cars out of the European Grand Prix already. So yeah, poor Roland Montjan not having any luck as usual. So yeah, the incident was definitely not his fault. Meanwhile, I think George Rogue has lost 2nd place. Will Nella's already gone past him, and now he's starting the hunt to Joseph Willows, who is leading for now. And meanwhile, Sonntag getting pressure from Bruno Giaconera. Meanwhile, Southgate has managed to come back to the pit. So has Joseph Willows. Adam Wolf into the pit as well. Has he made contact as well? I don't know, but yeah, look at that. Now Will Nellis all over the back of the gearbox of that McLaren. So Will Nella into the slipstream of Joseph Willows. Can he take the lead of the European Grand Prix? And look at that, he's down the inside. Joseph Wills covering the inside line. He touched a little bit. Joseph Wills has to go wide, and Will Nella had to back out. He didn't want to take an unfair advantage. So yeah, George Rogue has managed to close in a little bit. So he's putting himself back step by step. Look at that, flying Volker all over the back of the other McLaren of Felix Sonntag, the 2 German country heroes, disputing over 5th place now. Florian Volker goes down the inside of Felix Sonntag. He's lost another place to Bruno Giaconera. Now he's lost a place to Florian Volker, and Sonntag is dropping back. Meanwhile, Will Nella takes the lead of the European Grand Prix. Same corner has he failed to overtake on the previous, like 5 laps ago, I don't know. But Joseph Williams tried to have a look on the outside, but he's still not giving up. He's still on the back of the Ferrari. And this is what a close battle that is turning out to be. Will Nella had an amazing exit at turn 4, and yeah, so the gap has opened a little bit, but now yeah, Will Nella's opening the gap again. He's increasing the gap, but be careful, he's not giving up now. Joseph Willows, always a fierce fighter. Meanwhile, Florian Volta has an electrical problem. He was running in 5th place. What a shame, because yeah, he was running 5th place, and now he rejoins the race in 16th place now. So here is Vigo Halls having a scrub with Sam Thompson, and I believe both of them have big contact, both of them spin, and Alpha Safri gets collected into the mayhem as well. So does page 9, hits it back around to Safri, and Safri is out of the race again. Another race that he is out. So yeah, this is not being a good season for Azul Safri. Vigo host outperforming him every day. This is not what Safri hoped for. Very experienced. So this is a replay of the accident. So yeah, I don't know. Either Vigo host defended poorly. We were quite far from the incident, so yeah, Sam Thompson had a damaged rear wing because of Safri, and Paige Knight. How did she get away with that? I don't know how, but yeah. Now this is Jack Wyman on the back of Wais Kuba for 8th place now, the final points paying position. And Jack Boyman all over the slipstream. Kuba tries to cover the inside line, and they touch a little bit. Somehow both of them keep it together, and Kuba goes a little bit wide, but he has the inside line at the Mercedes Arena, and Jack Boyman had to concede. The two ex-Williams teammates scrapping it out just to, if it was an inch faster, it wouldn't have. Oh my goodness, look at the car control from Jack Boyman. Amazing stuff. And yeah, now Jack Boyman's going to try again now. And this time, Jack Boyman has a better run on him. Look at him. Now he's going to try dive down the inside. Kuba doesn't cover the inside line because he didn't want to make another dangerous incident like that. So yeah, Jack Boyman's up to 8th place now. So yep. Good fighting there, good racecraft, and somehow good reactions. Now Dmitry Surkov has a fire for the Super Aguri boys, and Dmitry Surkov was running in an amazing 11th place. Every time where he runs in a good position, nothing goes right, and yeah, poor Dmitry Surkov out of the race due to an oil leak. Now here comes Jack Boyman into the pits. So Jack Boyman into the pits for another set of intermediate tyres. So yeah, quite early to make a pit stop for the intermediate tyres. They don't wear out a lot, so yeah. I don't know. Either he's running on a less fuel strategy to go faster. So yeah, I'm thinking that. So he rejoins 15th place now. Here is Evan Byrne overtaking Miklos Gal, who was quite slow on the straight, and he also has an electrical problem. Oh my goodness. Toro Rosso have the weakest ECU on the grid. I can confirm that. But they were both running the points. They both have the same problem. What is going on in the Toro Rosso? I don't know. But either the electrics don't like standard water on the track. I don't know. Electrical and water, they don't mix. Yep. Anyways, Miklos got managed to come back into the pits. So yeah, the Toro Rosso boys have a lot of work to do. So yep. Anyways, into the pits comes Miklos Gal, changing. He's still gonna stay on the intermediate tires. He's not gonna refuel, and yeah. So oh, 9.4 pit stop. That's quite long. Yeah. Anyways, he had to fix the electrical problem that was in the car. So yeah, Ivy. So yeah, he didn't refill for the car anyway. But Bruno Canary into the pits for another set of intermediate tires. I see why teams are under fueling. They want to be the fastest in damp conditions. But yeah, if you run on less fuel, you have less weight, which is good for straight line speed. So yeah. As a racer, you always know that. So George broke into the pits, and I think he's put on the slick tires. A very aggressive strategy here, a deja vu like a Hawk9. So George Roke could be in contention for victory here, and that's the only way that he can stop the two top two in the title rivals. Oh, Adam Wolf has a problem. He has his engine is smoking. He also has a fire, and does he have an oil leak as well? Dmitry Surkov retired due to an oil leak. Not sure if I said that said that like a while ago, but the Honda engine is really has a very weak oil tank. So I'm seeing a little bit of Ilamuti. The Toro Rosso have a bad electronic system. Now Honda have a weak oil tank, which is causing an oil leak, causing an engine fire. So yeah, and it's not good for Super Aguri because they are struggling financially. Meanwhile, Bruno Giacanero has spun after contact with Finlay Strachan, and he will come back on the track in ninth place, which will be 8th as Kuba comes into the pits. So yeah, Kuba running in the dead of the points. See, I told you that the runners are still off the pace, really. So yeah, he's the only runner left, and yeah. Since I don't know, and Cuba didn't make the two-stop strategy work last time out at the Hungaroring. So yeah, like many drivers, he had to go to the three-stop strategy. So yeah, now Cuba does a 11.1 pit stop, and yeah. See, I told you it's boring that we don't do dual commentary. Anyway, talking about the leaders, Will Nellet pits. So does Joseph Willows. So the pit crew race. Who will be faster, Ferrari or McLaren? Nellet versus Willows, and they are going on to the dry tires. I think he's on to hards. What about Joseph Willows? What tires is he gonna go on? Alex Southgate into the pits as well. So Joseph Willows is going to go on the same tires as Will Nella. Will Nella does a 10.7 pit stop. What can Joseph Willows do? Will Nella's already exiting the pits. 12.4 pit stop. Oh dear, McLaren are still weak under pit stops. Even Alex Southgate has a faster one, and meanwhile he's in last place thanks to the first lap contact anyway. But Winner leads the race, and oh yeah, talking about fuel strategy, Joseph Willows has put on a lot of fuel, so maybe he wants to try and do an undercut on Winella. I don't know. But meanwhile, Volley Volker is gonna come back at Winella after his little electronics glitch, dives down to turn one. Takes fifth place out of Sonntag. Meanwhile, Jurknevit's gone past Strachan for 7th place. And how did he catch up to Strachan, Jucanera anyways? But now Jucanera is closing on Sonntag, and Strachan could join in the fun as well. I don't know the last time when Strachan actually scored points, but Strachan's been good here anyways. But yeah, I might not count him out of points, but yeah. Anyway, Sam Thompson coming into the pits now, so Sam Thompson having another poor race, and his Red Bull seat's in danger as well. So yeah, since James Williams took the podium last time out at Hungaroring. Sam Thompson could only manage a 6th place finish, but yeah, now his race is turned into a test session after contact with Fico Holst and Azu Safri, the two Force Indians anyway. He does an 11.6 pit stop, and yeah, he will be fighting with Southgate anyways. Here comes Alesio into the pits. Who remembers the Alezio's 6th place finish for Spiker? It was in the same conditions, but it was a lot more wetter. So yeah, this year he is running outside the points. His Honda, I know, is not a good car. They lack downforce, and yeah, it's not. Unfortunately, the fairy tale of Dominic Lazio won't be repeated itself. Now, Joseph Wells is close on Evan Byrne, who's yet to do a pit stop. Another guy who's yet to do his pit stop is Fico Holst. And Evan Byrne, remember, they are still stuck on the intermediate tyres, so yeah. So yeah, Joseph Wells is onto the slick tyres, so he's closing on Evan Byrne a lot now. He's gained about half a second out of turn 1. So yeah, I see why Evan Byrne wanted to stay on intermediate tyres. I think he wants to do a one-stop strategy. Maybe you could try to do a one-stop strategy, but yeah, you might need to put a lot of fuel into the car, which is gonna put more weight, and it might hamper performance. So yeah, then after when the fuel evaporates, a small mistake by Joseph Willows onto the grass, but he still keeps it together. Figo Horse into the pits now. He has 0.3% of fuel left. Wow. So he used all of his fuel. Anyways, here comes Figo Horse into the pits, and since that spin with Sam Thompson, he's been set back foot in the race. Only 17 cars are left, and he came in 14th. So yeah, not to mention that the two cars in last have pitted due to repairs. It's just another case of Force India being off the pace and high downforce here. So yeah, and he underfueled as well. So I think Fico Horse has given up on that one-stop strategy. How much fuel will Evan Byrne put into the car? He's gonna put 33 liters of fuel. I believe he's on a one-stop. Yes, he is actually on a one-stop. So yeah, will that work out? Can he bring the one-stop? Can it work? Can what about the fuel? Will it last for the whole race? He's halfway to go now, and Evan Byrne has put himself into a challenge. 14.7 pit stop, which is the slowest pit stop of the day, and Boyman almost overtook Evan Byrne, but he wasn't quite there. Now Miklo Scout into the pits, also going onto the hard tyres, and he's put on about 20 liters of fuel. I think he's not going to stay on the slicks for longer. He had 4.7 pit stop. He didn't put any fuel into the car, I believe. Yes, he hasn't put any fuel. So we got a yellow flag. It's George Roque. George Roque is out of the European Grand Prix, and he's made contact with Florian Volker. They were both battling over third place now. Volker, oh my goodness, the Red Bull behind Sam Thompson was just inches away from getting collected, but Florian Volker has lost part of his front wing, and he needs to make another stop for repairs now. So right, let's see what happened here. George Roque was on the racing line first. Florian Volker went for a tight gap that was never, and so he went on for a tight gap, and the move wasn't really gonna work. So yep, that's George Roque out of the race, and he went from back-to-back wins to back-to-back retirements. Wow. And that's the first BMW Sauber double DNF of the year, so yeah, definitely bad news for them on the home race. Meanwhile, we got a spin. I think that's Felix Sonntag. Felix Sonntag has spun. What happened here for Sonntag? And I believe he's made contact with Florian Volker as well. Oh dear. Oh dear. Florian Volker. This time it was not his fault. This time it wasn't his fault for sure. Because, right, let's see what happened on board with Jucanera. And, oh, Sonntag hit the curb. He hit the wet curb, and then he caused a pile up. He blocked Jucanera, and he also blocked Thompson, and Southgate got past Thompson anyways, but Sonntag rejoins in 6th place, which gives Evan Byrne 2 places. So Sonntag has a lot of work to do now. So yeah, anyways, here comes Bruno Jucanera into the pits. So Jucanera, 3rd place then after he had 2 poor races. So 3 3rd places then after 2 poor races, 1 point in the last 2 races. Not to mention that he collected Page Knight at Hockenheim. So yeah, I'll go a ring. The Ferraris were off the pace. So here comes Florian Volker into the pits for repairs another time, and without these repairs, I'm sure he wouldn't have been on the podium. So yeah, here comes a new front wing in onto the car, and yep, he will rejoin in 10th place. So just behind I think that's Page Knight. Yes, it is Page Knight. So yeah, meanwhile we got contact from Finley. Strachan's lost his front wing. Strachan just lost it at the final corner. If he lost it like way before, it wouldn't have ended badly. And he made a little bit of contact with Miklos Gau. He jumped over the curb, and his front wing collapsed. So yeah, very unfortunate incident. He almost collected Jucanera here. Oh. It couldn't have ended badly if he did collect a Jucanera, but he was just inches away. Wow. But anyways. Meanwhile, Page Knight had the fastest lap of the race at 1:24.583. So quick lap from Page Knight. But unfortunately, she's out of the points after the contact on the first lap, and yeah, bit unfortunate really, because otherwise she wouldn't have a chance to win probably, or podium place, because I'm sure she wouldn't have been on the one-stop strategy whatsoever. Now here comes Joseph Willows overtaking. Oh my goodness, he was just inches away. He touched Southgate slightly on the side pod, but if it was a little bit more harder, I'm afraid it wouldn't have ended badly. But Joseph Willows, known his racecraft, and oh dear, Page Knight out of the European Grand Prix. Oh, there's a Williams who spun in front of her. That was Jack Boyman. Volker getting away at Scarrett. Kuba messing up his defending. Right, left, center. What else? On top or on bottom? And he kept it together. The rear end just slided out, but Boyman unfortunately went into the path of Page Knight, and Volk hit the back of the Toyota. Somehow he gets away on Scabbard. Meanwhile, Boyman gets past Kuba, who just rejoined the circuit. So yeah, now here comes Felix Sonntag on the that's Cypria's top speed here. I believe he's going to overtake Evan Byrne to 3rd place now. Side by side they go. And, oh my goodness. That's Felix Sonntag up to 3rd place now. And, yeah. Oh dear, we got contact between James Willows and Dominic DeLazio at turn 1. And James Willows rejoins in 30th place now. Look at that. So Dominic DeLazio covers the inside line, and he covered it a little bit too much. James Willows braked a little bit late, and it was quite a hard impact though. And somehow they just get away with it. So I don't know what's going on with the damage model. I was not going good or something. Meanwhile, Florian Volker gets past Wais Kuba for 8th place now. Meanwhile, Wood Nellis at the fastest lap of the race. No, it was for 7th place, my bad. Now, here comes Wendler into the pits. After 10 the fastest lap, he is on to his final pit stop. And since 1/6 for the race, he's put on a dominant display. And yeah, it just shows that you cannot count him out of the championship after races that didn't go his way. Recently, like the Hungaroring, where he retired after a first lap collision, or Hockenheim, where he was off the pace. And oh dear, we got a yellow flag here. We got James Willis, who has spun again. And yeah. So James Willows going down the inside, and I don't think he's gonna appreciate the drive. I don't think he's gonna appreciate defending from his rivals really. So yeah, and Vigo Holst does have a problem with the Red Bulls really. Not he just squeezes them out after they touch, and yeah, not realizing there was a gap. To be honest, I don't know, but. Here comes Kuba's into the pits for his final pit stop as well. 10.7 pit stop. So yeah. Now here comes Felix Sonntag into the pits for his final pit stop as well. So yep. Sonntag. So yeah. Sonntag yet to win a race for McLaren really. But he's finished 4th in pretty much every race for McLaren except at Canada, where he crashed out at the Hungaroring, where he defended 3rd place from his teammate Joseph Widows. And he went on to the alternate strategy as well, which was pretty much bad for McLaren because they were far away. Now here comes Figo Holst into the pits. And Figo Holst, good performance at the moment. Not really poor race, but yeah. But the result could be good for Force India because they might need that in terms of constructors. Both Super Aguri and Force India are equal in the points, but let's not forget that Force India had high results. Here comes Florian Volker into the pits for his final pit stop, and yeah, he's performing very well, and he's in the frame for the Red Bull seat next season. Just to remind you, and he's gonna go on the same tyres as well, and yeah, the same hard tyres, Bridgestones, and yeah, I'm finding this pretty boring without George really, because aka Stato. Now yeah, here comes Bruno Triclair into the pits, and yeah, like I said, it's very boring alone because I have no one to talk to. Yeah. Anyways, Triclair finishes. No, he comes. Miklos down to the pits, and Toro Rosso have both of the cars in the points, which is very important in terms of constructors championship. And yeah, despite the little electronics glitch, Toro Rosso are performing well at the Nürburgring in mixed conditions. I was about to say rain conditions, but the track has dried up really. Now here comes Jack Boyman into the pits, who is doing his honours of scoring points for Williams. Williams have downgraded this season. Yeah, last season they were good. This season they were crap. So yeah, but Boyman always outperforming the cars always. And he's out racing, out qualifying Strack in every race, and yeah. Meanwhile, Strachan, I don't know where he is. He's not that far off from the point. So yeah, here is Evan Byrne on the podium. Joseph Wells into the pits for his final pit stop, and he did decide to pit later, but unfortunately, I think when there's a bit far away for him to take the victory. So here comes his brother James into the pits, and James Willows not having a very good race. Contact with Page Knight, then he spun 2 times, and now he's outside the points in 11th. And he's in a lonely 11th place now. I don't think he's fighting with anyone, but he's just gonna bring the car home in 11th, because I'm sure he's gonna finish 11th. And he was running 11th, and then 10th place and 12th place, both of them they're far away from him. So yeah, he rejoins in 11th. Now here comes Finley Strachan into the pits. So can Strachan actually score some points for Williams? Because Strachan's doing a good job despite the front wing breakage like he had earlier on. But yeah, Strachan hasn't scored points as Bahrain. Like I said, here comes the Lazio, who has a fire. Another Honda engine to have a fire. Yep, that's the third Honda engine that failed out of the 4. And yeah, his well, I remember his fairy tale story last year. This season, he was run outside the points in 12th, and his engine just blew up. Now he's out of the race, and it's back to the retirement days for the American, who is definitely seeing his way out of Honda, not appreciating the car really. And remember, he scored a very good 7th place last time out at Hungary, despite a little electronic glitch that could have sent him out of the race. But yeah, he was running 4th in the top 5 before that. But yeah. Anyways, on to the final lap of the race. Winella pretty much has that win in the back. He is back into victory now. So yeah, let me just see the last time he has won a race. And I think the last time he won was at the French Grand Prix. So yeah, quite a long time. But yeah, it's just 3-4 races apart really. But Winella has put on a dominant display to put his championship back in point after a couple of poor races. He has put on a very masterful performance, and yeah, coming round the chicane now. It's just about 2 corners to go. When Winella comes around the final corner to win the European Grand Prix, and and let's not say that his title is over, because this shows that you cannot count him out. Vigo also is going to come home in 12th place. A very average race, but I don't think he has enjoyed that race anyways. But Miklos Gal takes 7th place to make it a double points finish for Toro Rosso. Jack Boyman takes the final points finish. Finley Strachan just messes out on the points. He finishes in 9th place. Kuba is going to come home in an average 10th place. And yeah, it's good to see that he's finishing races after, like, yeah, he's on his biggest finishing race streak, which is 3 anyway. But James Willows will come home in 11th place. And I think I'm gonna have to call him Mr. 11th place for that race, really. But yeah, I don't think he's gonna appreciate that. But I'm sorry, James. He comes home in 11th place. A very disappointing result for Red Bull. Evan Byrne somehow makes the one-stop strategy work, and he takes the final podium place. Felix Sonntag, hashtag Forever P4, comes home in P4. And yeah, it was a very good race, and it's just that the second half of the race was boring, because anyways. So Florian Volker comes home in 6th place. So Winella, great performance, and yeah, championship is about to heat up.